皆様お時間となりましたので再開いたします。次が本日最後のプログラムとなります。How Web3 will change social media をテーマにトークセッションの模様をビデオでご覧ください。
Hi, Web3 Conference Tokyo. Thank you for coming on site or tuning in. This is Nori, and I'll be your mod for this session. So today, we have a very exciting topic to discuss, how Web3 will change social. And when we mean by social, it means like social media or the society itself or social interaction with people. So we have three special guests today that will discuss with us, along with us. Ryan from CyberConnect, co-founder. Thank you for coming. And also Shun Kakinoki from Life. Thank you also for coming. And Hana from Mass Network.
Hi.
Yeah, so before we kick off, let's have each and one of you do a self-introduction, starting off with Ryan, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan. I'm the co-founder of CyberConnect. Been building in crypto space for 5 years now. Previously, before my life in crypto, I built other startups in the social area as well. Super glad to be here. Thanks so much for having me. My favorite city in the world is Tokyo, so I'm glad to be here. Couldn't make it in person, but we'll try to make it out there.
Yeah, thank you. I hear a lot of great stuff about your protocol. It's a decentralized social graphing, and everybody's excited about this. We'll touch on this later. Yep. Thank you for your introduction. And let's move on to Shun.
Hi, I'm Shen. I was born in Osaka, raised partly in Bay Area. I went back to Japan, but I'm working on Light, which is like a social Web3 social build on top of CyberConnect, powered by CyberConnect, where you can discover other people on the blockchain. Before this, I like to hack to build on things, yeah, Light is my current endeavor.
Thank you. I went to your Discord, and everybody's really active on your community, and we're very excited to hear what you guys are doing. Thank you for that. And also in the last part, Hana, please.
Yeah, well, thank you, Nakata-san, for the invitation. And hello, everyone from Web3 Conference Tokyo. 私はHanaです。My name is Hannah Shen. I am the head of growth at Mask Network. We are a Web3 social protocol and middleware layer with the goal of bridging Web2 and Web3 and giving data ownership and privacy back to the users. So with Mask Network, we have two main products right now. One is what we call a middleware browser extension that you can use right on top of familiar social networks like Twitter and Facebook. And we introduce, encrypted messaging, sending crypto exchanges and NFTs, etc., right on top of it. So users can access their Web3 kind of world using Mask as a portal from on top of Web2 social media. And another one, we're working on a DID aggregator protocol called NextID, hoping to be the foundational layer for other DID projects out there, and on top of it, power social graphs like CyberConnect, and also applications like Light. So together, we want to build the foundation infrastructure of Web3 social. Personally, I've been in the Web3 kind of creator economy space for a while. Prior to joining Mask, I was in SF San Francisco working on two creator economy related startups as early operator. So just really excited to kind of continue down the path of building social, but through the lens of Web3. I grew up in Shanghai, was in Japan. I actually learned for 3 years of Japanese during my undergraduate at Harvard. And just really excited to join this panel and wish I could be there as well.
Wow, now we know a lot about you. And also, needed to say, Mask is all over the place and doing a lot of things, even this conference itself. So yeah, please help us connect this session, and then share us what you learned a lot from this space. So thank you for that, and let's move on to our topic. And before we do that, I wanted to do just a quick recap of what happened in Web3. So last year in 2021 February, NFT came, caught a huge interest from artists, collectors, and business side. And the word like tokenization of everything explains it all. Yeah. Every digital assets and every business models were like connected to smart contract and NFTs, and then re-evaluated. And people start to think like what's like what made sense, or like what more value there will be, and how effective there will be. So we do understand that NFT is like really efficient in digital space, and also like powerful in many ways. Like for instance, like traceability or composability, or creating trust by using this smart contract, or maybe like going borderless in many other ways. So we learned a lot, and it's been like nearly a year and a half. A lot of things happened. A lot of buzzword came across. But for the NFT space, I think in Web3 space, where people say that it's going to be more socialized and financialized. And since like in this January, Vitalik brought up this term called like soul-bound token, SBT, which was originally like non-transferable like token, where you cannot transfer your NFTs and put more trust into this like information, right? So people start to think about like what kind of like society we do want to create in this like decentralized society called DSOC, right? So first topic would be like I want to cover like share people what was the issue for the past like Web2 space, and how we can solve this problem by using blockchain technology. So Ryan, can you share us one of your thoughts about like what was the issue and what we can solve by using this technology?
Yes. Well, a couple of issues come to my mind. So before my rabbit hole down into crypto, I was building a social app, startup. We built it out in the Bay Area. We launched in Stanford, at Berkeley. In the end, it just didn't catch up because people liked their friends on Snapchat, which was kind of weird, right? Like Snapchat as a tool is a great tool, but then it kind of also holds on to the data of the user data, right? Like their friends are always on the specific platforms, which is not what you want eventually, right? Like because my friend circle, my social graph, that's an important asset of mine. I should be able to bring them along to different applications. I should be able to meet my friend in all kinds of digital social contexts. And that's, I think, what really interesting about blockchain, about Web3 is really giving back the ownership of any kind of data, and social data and social capital as one of the very important ones. And that's what CyberConnect is doing right now. So we want users to be able to own their social graph. It's like owning their contact book, owning their followers, owning that piece of data as a token, so that they can bring it to different platforms and enable other applications to build on top, right? Like, as I said before, we were building an application without any infrastructure support, and it's so hard to get users' social graph there. But what if there is a graph that's kind of universal, and there will be just more innovation happening, like what I really appreciate what Light is doing right now on top of CyberConnect, so that it kind of adds back to the value of the protocol, and while also leveraging the protocol as a throughout the co-star, throughout the retention. And yeah, that's just my 2 cents on this.
Yeah, interoperability is like a really important thing for this space. And I know you guys are trying to connect different platforms and putting the DID concept. So yeah, thank you for sharing. What about Shun?
Oh yeah, I really vibe with Ryan on this topic, but like being able to like actually like own your social graph is such a powerful concept that didn't exist before. I mean, it wasn't like really possible. And I think like the whole transition to Web3 is about giving back to the power to like from the platforms to the users, right? Like before, like what's the most precious resource that like people have? It's definitely their probably their time. And like these Google, Facebook, Apple, they're all sucking a lot of your time without giving you anything in return, right? Like it's crazy that you spend all these time in these social medias that like reward you literally nothing in like financial wise. I mean, like knowledge wise, they're giving us a lot in return. But like I guess like that aspect of itself, having like the users the power to like actually like own everything they like conducted on the blockchain is like fundamentally going to like change how we live like our internet life, in that sense that like I think a lot of people like in the coming decade will be like increasingly being able to like make a life on top of like social, in contrast to now, as like only like the big like top 1% of people that are using like these influencers being able to sustain their like their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was thinking myself, like we're doing a marketplace, but instead of just like selling, like what if like we use the blockchain technology, like let's say NFTs for trust, and we accumulate this trust, and then people get incentives, or like people get connected to other people, and by trusting this information. So I guess like this is going to be the next thing, absolutely, and probably you guys are doing. You're going to be the pioneers for this, right? No.
Yes, 100%. I mean, like the cool thing about like CyberConnect is that it's not confined to any blockchain. It's blockchain agnostic, right? And it's all back to some decentralized, actually, to Ceramic and Ari, but it's out of the context of this conversation. But like, it's really cool in a sense that like, you know, you don't have to like, because we live in a like multi-chain world,
Yeah.
native people use a lot of different chains, and since it's not confined to one chain, it's just more like interoperable and composable on a whole other level.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's hear more about it later on when we let you guys introduce your protocol. But let's hear from Hana.
Yeah. I definitely echo with what Ryan and Shun just said about kind of owning your data, social graph, and also like just your assets online. And right now, the biggest problem we see with Web2 social platforms, while people are having so much fun on their TikTok or Twitter, you don't own any of this, right? I think first of all, the bottom line is users' privacy is getting infringed upon, and your data is being abused by like big platforms. I think Facebook has done a horrible job at this, and even with like some other platforms, there's like data leaks recently in China with like even public data. So overall, I think when Mask was first founded, the mission to protect users' privacy and ensure that users own their data has always been at the core. And we do that through like, allowing people to send encrypted messages that Twitter even won't have access to, forming a private layer on top of traditional social media. So I think in our mind, Web3 social definitely needs to put like kind of data ownership and privacy at heart for users, and blockchain technology is there to facilitate it, as well as other Web3 technologies like cryptography, et cetera, to make sure that the users are able to really own their data. And on top of it, where we see kind of enhancement or kind of a necessity, like kind of a necessary trend, is as we onboard more Web3 users, NFT holders, DeFi users, and just more awareness around this. We see that it's like inevitable that people are open and decentralized public forum to exchange ideas. And right now, the Web2 platforms are serving most of the Web3 users today, but they're still like monopolistic. They're still like kind of a walled garden. So overall, Web3 social, I think, is an inevitable trend, and it will put like users' ownership and privacy at heart.
Yeah. Absolutely, like privacy and ownership is the big thing, and I'm definitely sure that. I mean, I want everyone to use this, like, and like understand this concept. But also, like, I was also thinking, like, who will be using this, like, and how should we onboard these people? Like, why convince them? Like, what's so great and why you should stop using the Web2 platforms and change it to Web3. And this is like one of the most important things that we should do on board, right? So starting off with Ryan, can you tell us how we should convince these people?
Yeah, I don't think we need to convince those people, since actually the benefit of it will just demonstrate itself sooner or later. That's my thinking about behind this. Like, internet took a while to get a hold of users, people's attention. You can't just ask them. Well, back in the days when you still have all the different all the wires and to surf the internet with your phone connected to a wire, right? Like, we're a bit early in terms of the infrastructure. We're a bit early in terms of making those like technology stacks, layers on top of other layers to make it eventually a useful tech in general for other people to adopt. But the thing is, it's a totally different paradigm. Like, being able to own a piece of data that was originally easily copyable on the internet was just something that never happened before. And having a universal computer, what Chris Dixon like to put it, like a commitment computer, is just something never happened before. Yeah, I think we'll definitely see a lot of killer apps that's coming around, right? Like, I think NFT was definitely the recent killer app that people are kind of putting all kinds of culture, all kinds of content into those NFTs, monetizing them, helping the creators directly monetize without going through all the middlemen. Yeah, it's just it takes time for infrastructure to catch up. Well, people are saying, right, like, I love my Instagram, I love my Twitter. What's so good about Web3 that they can replace my Twitter? Maybe it's not here to replace the Twitter right now. Maybe it's not here to replace Twitter, but maybe it's how you interact with other people, how you monetize through your content. It's just gonna take a little bit more time. People have to wait a little bit more. But yeah, it's the progress has been great, right? 3 years ago there was literally nothing, and now it's
Nothing, right?
now it's like these NFTs is so much fun, right? People are collecting NFTs, people are trading them as badges, as their names, as their avatars. It's just a lot of things are happening, and yeah, so we're just here to grind more and put in the infrastructure there for applications to build, and hopefully you can see more interesting stuff coming into the world in the next month and years.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, technology, the service speaks with itself, and it's always fast moving, so we never know what's going to happen, and it's going to expand anyways. Thank you for that. But what about Shun? Like, what are you guys doing on top of like CyberConnect? And like, I see you guys are really active on the community side, interacting with your users and members. What are you guys doing? Can you elaborate that for us?
Oh yeah, so I guess in our community side, like, we're kind of like encouraging people and encouraging users to kind of like explore other people on the blockchain, which is entirely powered by CyberConnect. Before CyberConnect, the only thing you could do was type in an address on a blockchain explorer, which is entirely not just like incomprehensible for a lot of people and like for normal people in general. And so we make it so that you can kind of like digest what this person is owning, and also like kind of what person has done in the done through like we have like a feature called timeline, which kind of like has a snapshot of what you have done through with your wallet. And so I guess we that's one aspect of what we want to do as light powered by CyberConnect.
Mm-hmm. Timeline you mentioned.
Oh yes. So if you look at like if you look at, for example, light.so/vitalik.eth/timeline, you can go to their timeline, but yeah, it needs more work. But I guess my 2 cents on this is that, like, I don't think like there's enough like I don't think like Instagram just by moving to it's using blockchain like it doesn't work like that for normal people to use it. I mean there's some like people that some projects that are saying it's a Web3 Discord, it's a Web3 Twitter, or it's a Web3 blah blah blah. That's just put Web3 in front because there's no actual utility for the end user just because it's decentralized. Like normal people doesn't care about that. But like as Ryan put it, like if there's utility that you can own a post or you can own this like blog post that may translate into something in the near future, or if I want to like if I like this artist so much and I can own his like first like pieces of his like artwork. I mean that's something that was impossible before that has actually utility. And so I guess like the utility, when utility starts to kind of like sink into the general public, we'll see more of a general adoption. Whereas now it's more hype based, where just because it's decentralized, it doesn't probably mean anything.
Right. So correct me if I'm wrong. It's more of like what we experienced through this NFTs. It's like owning an artwork or using utility and putting those things into like more of a social side. Am I correct? Like.
Yes. I think like we're still seeing glimpses of it, but we're still yet to see. This is something that like a lot of people would just like, this is something I want to like pick around with, But okay. I think we're still getting there.
Right. So we're seeing some like Shun said, like glimpses of it. And I totally agree. My first startup, we did like a TikTok competitor, so I know how hard it is to build something very similar to an incumbent and trying to grow it. So like just simply saying something is Web3 doesn't move the needle for general users to get onboarded into this world where like protecting your data is important, but additional utility where like how do people actually have fun or consume content? These are the, I think, critical onboarding issues the builders in Web3 need to think through. But I think what's exciting from both Mask's point of view, and I'm seeing a lot of projects built using CyberConnect and including like is we're seeing this kind of social intelligence or a layer on top of existing Web2 social platforms. But like, for example, using NFT, you can discover like other holders of the same NFT collection and be able to follow, maybe DM them. And there's also like, the apps that allows people to chat cross-platform between like OpenSea and Twitter. So we're seeing like, I think innovations where like complementary Web3 like apps that are built around the existing ecosystem that are slowly transitioning more end users to feel what it is to have a so-called Web3 layer or element into their social life. So I think what the social intelligence that I'm seeing combining social graph and NFT like codings, and then also the kind of the messaging applications that are built around these use cases are really good kind of early endeavors to try to onboard more end users to that. And I think on top of it, one thing I'm very keen to see, and like among in the ecosystem is how do we design more mobile friendly, like better UX, UI, like kind of DApps that actually kind of onboard more end users, because that's also when Web2 socials are taking off, like mobile, like mobile end plays a huge part. I think that could also be a great opportunity for a lot of builders down the road.
Wow, thanks for covering us. And also, Hana, did you want to tell us what you guys are doing, like also from Mask side? Like, I know you guys are onboarding like corporates or enterprises or like collect projects. What you guys are doing for the past this year? Can you share us what how we can bring more people into this field?
Yeah. So I think that actually ties back to what we were just saying before, and what Ryan's saying, like we are still kind of not waiting, but like experimenting and see what kind of killer Web3 DApps would really onboard massive user. And that's why in terms of positioning, Mask wants to be the middleware to enable more builders to both access the existing Web3 users that we have. We're one of the earliest, I think, Web3 social projects out there, and also use the traffic that you can get naturally from Web3 social platforms like Twitter and Facebook. So our middleware, our browser extension, serves as kind of the bridge where we actually incorporated a lot of different DApps like social games, etc., to build within our extension. So they naturally get more users when they first integrate with Mass Networks extension. So that's one part, like we want to build the ecosystem and also using our existing products momentum to support more nascent, like kind of younger projects out there. And on top of it, one important piece of infrastructure that we think is currently missing, and we're seeing a lot of people building, is around DID, right? Like you need to have decentralized identities more than just your wallet and more than just your social account in Web2, but something combined that you own, like your identity graph that you own, and you can aggregate across chain and cross both off-chain identities and on-chain identities for users to own as a starting point for more social applications to be built on top of, more credentials like SBTs you mentioned to be built on top of. And that's kind of like we're at the very beginning, like kind of like creating the your username or your email address equivalent in Web3 at this stage. So Next ID has also been something we've put a lot of effort in terms of building and designing and testing out with our partners. Yeah, the official beta launch will be very soon in July. We've been just doing a lot of R&D on that.
I'm absolutely sure this concept and this approach will be the next thing, because last March we also did a certificate, like a graduation certificate for the school, and we connected the blockchain technology on the NFT, and made it to an NFT, and then give it to the students. And then so as we were thinking about this, if this credential and this trust of this activity goes on and then accumulates, and there's going to be a whole different story, not only to just like sell and like get money with the NFTs, but also like trust this information and trust this activity. And that's going to be the very next thing. Like it's going to be really huge. And yeah, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Is there anything that we didn't cover about your CyberConnect or Light or Mask? Can you share us anything else like that we missed?
No, I think one quick thing on NFT, since like Mask has like a lot of like other like DApps like integrated within our extension. One direction that we're seeing is around like security and how we can enable users to ensure their NFT assets are safe, and like especially in this bear market, like stop losing more assets. So I think that's also one important element to bring up, like in the Web3 world. Like we need to continue developing applications and build with like kind of cybersecurity in mind.
Mm-hmm. So I think we covered a lot and learned. We're absolutely sure that like the DID or those SBT token or CyberConnect is going to be the very next thing. But in the last question, I want to ask each and one of you like what you guys are thinking in the future. What's next for us? And starting off with Ryan, can you share us like what you guys have in mind? And Ryan.
Yeah, so what do we have in the future? I mean, CyberConnect has been, we have onboarded about 1.6 million addresses or users now. We have 20 million connections between them. We've been helping almost 30 projects to build on CyberConnect, and now we're shipping a new version of the protocol that has more some on-chain stuff as well, like what you described the SBT, what you described about the NFTs. We think those are really fun stuff to experiment with, and also a great building block for developers to build on. So that's something we're shipping very soon. And we do have a product that we just launched. It's called Link 3, Link 3.2, which is like a Linktree page, or like a personal profile page that's entirely powered by CyberConnect, and it's based on all the interaction is based on the EVM contract, or like the addresses, so that you can quickly interact with the projects directly through all their links, and have all the trusted links there, instead of, right, like when you're searching, let's say Stepan on Twitter, you get like 50 scam accounts. We have verified links for all the different projects. We've onboarded about 110 projects so far. And yeah, if you are a community that wants like showcasing some of your members, showcasing some of your links, or if you're just a project that's like Web3 native, you want people to interact with it or follow your project with their addresses, feel free to reach out to us and get into the beta release. Well, we'll get you one. Yeah, we have projects like Light, we have projects like BNB Chain, like Multi-Coin Galaxy. They're all on Link 3 already. Hopefully, we can build out a professional network here.
Great. We'll definitely reach out to you. Is it possible?
Yes.
Oh, that's exciting. What about Shun?
Yeah, we have some have like a mobile, like a version of like that has some on-chain stuff that wants to kind of like engage with users to kind of like partially like kind of like get rewarded through like on-chain NFTs, and kind of like I want to accelerate the move from rather Web2 like stuff to kind of like Web3 activities that users can actually like own and like give power back to the users.
I saw you guys are doing a lot of content and like interaction with the members, right? Is that what you're going to focus on?
The community side is important for us, in a sense that we're the app that wants to kind of like grow with the community. I guess that's entirely true for a lot of Web3 projects. But yeah, I mean, I guess more building until like we find and iterating until like we find we hope to like hit upon some actual use case, some actual like feature that just will like not only like rather like, oh, this makes sense for like a crypto avid user, but like for like my mom, like for my dad, like for my grandma, that's I want to try out that, like even for people that have never owned a MetaMask, that have no crypto and have never owned crypto whatsoever. So
I mean, I don't like to use mass adoption, but like, trying to make it more facilitate for the people to use even in like this service, or like maybe Web 2.5, whatever you say, but this is going to be really important for like UI, UX. Yeah, so yeah, thank you for sharing the next step or your mind. So lastly, Hana, take it away.
For sure. And I agree. I think the mom test is a good one that I would use to talk to our team as well. Because like if we're building social networks, like everyone needs to be really included. Eventually, that's kind of the grander vision. So I think to think about the future of Web3 social, I like to like kind of dissect into two parts. One is like what Shun and Ryan was saying, like looking for and trying to figure out what are some of the more end user friendly and kind of the apps that provide more utility, more than just financial incentives. You can do like a combination of those, or solving some real issues that haven't been solved fully through Web2 social networks. One direction I'm personally very excited about is kind of more aggregated content feed using social graphs that you can bring wherever you want, and also identity aggregation, like DID infrastructure that allows you to port in like different parts of your identities, both on chain and also off chain. And this is only something that can be done through Web3 technologies, like a more powerful version of Smart News, for example, or like more powerful version of like your personalized content feed. So that could be one example, a direction that maybe even can get my mom excited about. She doesn't need to like read to earn; she just needs to read like valuable information or things across platforms. The other part I think is on continuing on building out a more robust infrastructure. We're still actually at a very early building stage of Web3 social, and that's why we're focusing on like DID infrastructure, middleware, social graph, these different components that can put together, and also like backend like storage and like kind of security, etc. Put together that can empower like the killer apps that we're hoping to see. So I think in the more short to near term, we need to address a sort of what I call the identity war or identity crisis that we're seeing in Web3, because right now a lot of your social connections and your on-chain activities or assets are relatively kind of fragmented. So how can we use like DID aggregation, like for example, NextID and other like DID solutions out there to build a more robust identity foundational layer that can have like social graphs and content syndication on top, is I think on the kind of the leveling up the bottom line side, something we need to think about. And in that, ensuring that data security and privacy is still at the heart of Web3 is so important, because we're seeing so many like scams and like hacking events that need to be prevented and better addressed through the infrastructure and protocols that we design.
Yeah. Well, I guess like DID and social graph and many other concepts is like the key thing for us, and also like as you mentioned, Hannah, like making it more easy, facilitate for everyone, like our mom, and maybe strengthen the security, privacy, and making the world and also the digital space better is a very key thing for us. Thank you, three of you, for sharing your thoughts. Please, everyone, please check CyberConnect, Light, and Mask. And also, thank you everyone for listening. This was the How Web3 Will Change the Social session. And thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Sorry.
me.
That was kind of awkward. Sorry.
All good. Good.
Cool. Are we free to chat now? Okay.
Are we good? Yeah, I need to forward. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
I think it's around like 28 minutes, 30 minutes, sharp.
Great, right on time.
Did we miss anything? Did you want to say more about anything?
I think I like Ryan's call to action. That was good. Maybe. Yeah. We're looking to the next idea is a very back end protocol, so it's not something you can just sign up. But we're actively looking for like projects, like developers to integrate with us. So I don't know if that's something I'll slide in, but
we can cut that and then put it into somewhere.
Yeah. But I think we're good. Yeah. Hopefully, I get to meet all of you in person at some point. I've been.
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
Tokyo. I'm going to Tokyo.
Please come.
Definitely
Yeah.
Seriously?
No.
No.
Next week?
No, we were just joking.
Because I'm doing.